All right, so I'll be sharing my screen. Yeah. So Techlytics is a technology, workforce development, and a consulting organization. So in at Techlytics, there is two phases to it. We have the technology workforce development, which is the tech part of Techlytics. Then we have the consulting part. So, and we are dedicated to empowering ambitious professionals like you and businesses with the essential skills needed to thrive in the ever-evolving world of technology. So, with a strong focus on preparing for professionals for the future of work, we have successfully trained and mentored more than 3,000 fellows across various educational, technology institutions, and corporate settings. Our specialized training programs primarily revolved around data analytics, product management, low code, and no code development. Techlytics as a consulting company offer tech consulting to startups and enterprises alike on digitalization, on digit, sorry, excuse me, on digitization and product management. So, what problem are we trying to solve? So, after COVID-19, we also saw how things evolved. The way we work changed. There are a lot of skill gaps and a lot of demand for new skills. So, Techlytics is actually out to upskill, to help individuals and professionals upskill or reskill in the newly evolving skills in the technology workspace. So, what is our attraction? We are formerly known as the Rainmaker Online, which kickstarted as a YouTube Microsoft Excel tutorial channel in May 2020, and we had 88 students as at that time. In February 2023, we officially launched Techlytics as a new name, and since then we have had over 800 new signups. We have had over 100 lecture completion, 33 course completions, and over 150 active students. Presently on YouTube, we have 299 subscribers. And please, if you are not subscribed to our YouTube channels, I'll be dropping the link. Please kindly subscribe to enjoy some of our past trainings and also future trainings that will be dropping. So meet our team at Techlytics. So Techlytics is led by Uluwatayo Wikule, who is the founder and the lead trainer at Techlytics. Uluwatayo is a chartered banker. She's a certified MS Excel specialist and a certified safe practitioner. And she has a proven track record of breaking complex concepts to relatable bits. Tayo is a great teacher. Let me just put it, let me summarize it. She's very good at what she does, and she's very, very intelligent. So meet the other members of Techlytics. We have Jadida Okonko, who is our product manager at Techlytics. We have Abiodun Olani, who is also a product manager. Myself, I'm a data analyst, like I said. Oroluwa, who is our social media manager, and Timothy, who is a graphic designer. So on today's free masterclass, like I said, we are going to be talking on operational efficiency dashboards, and that will be taken by no other person than Ifeanyi. And Ifeanyi is a data analyst, and I'm sure you are going to have a very swell and good time this evening. So I'll be handing over the floor to Ifeanyi so that he can take us through the topic. Mic check, Ifeanyi, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, so thank you. Let me stop presenting my screen so that you can start.
Okay, so I'll present. I'll share my screen. Okay, so good day, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good day. Tell me where you can see my screen. Can anybody see my screen? Yes. Okay. So today we'll be looking at operational efficiency. We're creating an operational efficiency dashboard, and the idea of operational efficiency dashboard is for you just to monitor the efficiency of your business operations. So if there are any questions, you could feel free to just unmute and ask a question, so the session can be as interactive as possible. So the operational efficiency is actually cut across various industries and various companies and various businesses, various small businesses as well. Is basically you just keep tracks of KPIs that can help you import any problems or any bottlenecks you have in your business and also improve your operational processes as well. So it's not like specific to a particular industry or it's a very niche stuff. It could actually just be a very simple dashboard that just shows the important KPI that you want. It could also be something more deep, like maybe showing, for example, like how your software team is delivering their software delivering and other and their performance. It could also be something as simple as a like today we're looking at food delivery business and we're just predicting showing the different KPIs in this food delivery business out to see their other operations is ongoing. So it actually uses principle so in different industries and in different businesses. If you, for example, like this, for example, like an ed tech, they could also use it to simply find out the operations, maybe how many classes they have, how many students, like when did they have that peak classes, when did they have low classes, where are most of the students coming from, where are most of the people joining from, so they can like focus on advertising, where where is that peak period within the year? Where did they have less periods? Where are they? Did they need extra hands in a particular period of the years and just stuff like that? And maybe even how long did the employees stay in the business? So they can always like have extra hands and those stuff like that. So you could use operational efficiency dashboard for various industries just to look at your operations and see how you are doing. So for today, we are going to be using this data set, which you can get from this website. And the data set, we're not doing any prediction. We're just trying to find out the food delivery service. We're just trying to find out, we're just going to look at different KPIs you can come up with the data available and just to see how their operations is. So you can download the data from here. You can also download it from Power as well, here as well. And it's a very simple data set. By simple data set, I mean it's just one data set. It doesn't really have another um like parts to it. It doesn't really have another parts to it. Okay. Then so once done the data set, we're going to use Power BI today to analyze our data. And what we do is just open that. If you don't have Power BI, you could always download Power BI from the website. You could always download Power BI from the website, or you could also just get it from the Microsoft Store as well. So once you get Power BI, once you're going to get this Power BI desktop, which is this. Power BI desktop is basically so Power BI are three different aspects or parts to it. There's Power BI desktop, which is what we're going to be using, which is where you do your production, which is where you build your models, you do your data modeling, do your data transformation, you do your data cleaning. You should build your reports on Power BI desktop. It's a lot more easier and it's free as well. Then you also have Power BI service, which is like the online version of Power BI. This part you require to have a license. You could also get a sample license using virtually Microsoft Developer program, and you get a free Power BI license to practice and to also explore other Microsoft technology like Power Platforms and the rest. So that's where you publish your dashboards and you can send a link to your different stakeholders or executive or even to your friends and they could view your dashboards or you could put it as a portfolio as well if you are just learning as well. Then you also have Power BI the Power BI mobile, which is basically like a mobile app, which is for your executive or your stakeholders. They are not with your laptop. They could just log on to the app and look at the KPIs. And if, for example, you have set an alert, you could also just get an alert on our phones that, oh, maybe this is down, or this is gets to a critical level, they should check it out, or this is down, they should take actions as well. So it's just really easy for you to use, and it's simple on your mobile phone. Or you have to just go to the Play Store or the App Store and you download the app and you log in with your credentials. And of course, that means you also need to have a license to view your online reports as well. Okay, so we're going to use Power BI Desktop, which I mentioned you can download from Microsoft Store. And once you download Microsoft Power BI Desktop, the first thing you need to do in your data analysis process or workflow is for you to get data. I mean, if you don't have data, you cannot really analyze or do anything, right? Okay, so far, just want to do a simple poll. Has anybody here used Power BI before? So I know I should maybe jump. I shouldn't spend so much time talking about the basics and just go right into the dashboard. So has anybody here used Power BI before? You could answer in the comments, or you could just raise your hand as well. Okay, so far we have just one person. Anybody else? So just one person. Okay. Okay, so just one person. All right. So the first thing you need to do, like I mentioned, is for you to get your data. Okay, so I'm going to use Excel to be just for you to or even in Notepad, for you to see the different steps that we need to go through. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to get our data. And to get your data, you can easily get this by clicking on this Get Data. You also get the data by clicking one of these as well. So once you get your Get Data, it gives you a list of different data sources where you can get data from. You can get your data from a lot of data sources. There are up to like 500 different traits of data source right here. From a simple flights. By flights, I mean like your Excel file on your computer, a CSV file, a PDF, or even from your database. If, for example, you have an SQL database on-prem or in the clouds, from Oracle, there are a lot of databases options you can pick, for example, MongoDB as well, or even for Microsoft Fabric, like your Lakehouse, or even Power Platform, like I mentioned. You can also get it from even Microsoft Azure and also from other online sources like Twitter, Google Analytics, Salesforce, Data World. Even there are a lot of sources here, and there are also others as well, even Microsoft Teams as well. So you can always analyze your data from different sources, even SharePoint, and even from a website. You give Power BI the website, and Power BI will basically scrape the website and give you the data on Power BI. Okay, so we're getting our data from this website, and once we download it, it gives us a CSV file, which is basically a comma separated file. So it's basically a file. It is basically like an Excel file, but your data is separated by commas. That's basically what it means. So comma separated files. So the next thing we need to do is we click on Get Data. Since it's a CSV file, we just click on CSV. So once you click on CSV, we click on delivery time, and we select our data. Okay, so once you get to data, Power BI opens this and it asks you whether you want to load your data or you want to transform your data. By load your data, it means do you want to just move it straight to Power BI? But if you pick transform your data, it means it wants to move it to Power Query. And Power Query is basically for data cleaning or data transformation, depends on, but they all kind of like mean the same thing. So data cleaning, data transformation. By this, we mean that we are cleaning your data, we are transforming it to a more usable form. For example, if you give somebody if you fill a form online and people you give your address, I can from your address can clean your address for that for me to get your name of your street, the name of the name of street, name of the name of the name of the region you are in or local government you are in, even from the state even to the country. So I can get all of this information just from your address. Same way you can give me your name, I can get your first name, your last name, and leave your middle name. So that's basically me cleaning your data into a more usable form. Or if I need to go aggregate your data as well. So it's always best, however, that you always click on transform your data because you might also need to change your data type as well. So you click transform data type, and once you have this, it brings the data here as queries. So this will have queries here, and these are all our different data. Okay, so the next thing we are going to have to do is we can change our data types. So by data types, Power BI, they are like different data types. It's also the same data types in most programming language, however. By this, I mean you have your test data, which are like, or we call strings, data types. Yeah, you have test data. Some people also call it strings as well, which is basically like your words, I, hello, and ID as well. Even your passport number is also a string data. Your phone number as well also you argue to be string data as well. Then next we also have um your integers. Integers are basically numbers. Even your decimal numbers are also like part of integers as well. Then you also have other type like dates. You also have your time and go on and go on and go on. So the next thing you want to do is change your data type. So for example, this is a test data. So this is okay. This is a test data. So this is the delivery person's ID. This age, we can leave it as a number. This also a rating. To leave it as decimal. To change it, you click on this button and you pick the data type if it's incorrect. But this is correct. So we keep looking at it, this at it, test this time taking, also number. So this everything is okay. You could also, if your data wasn't okay, for example, you want to delete something, you could always just select the column and delete it. And whenever you do something in Power Query, there's no undo button. If you have realized that, there's no undo button anywhere here. So what you do with your undo button, since it's undo button, what Power Query actually gives you is more of like gives you this apply steps where whenever you do something, it records it here. So for example, let me say I change this name to ratings. You see what happens. So see immediate or rename columns ratings. Anywhere look here, I see the formula that Power Query did. So table dot rename columns renames this to this. So whenever I do something, if I delete everything here, it does records it here for me. And if I make a mistake, for example, I want to undo everything I've done, all I have to do is cancel all of the steps. Okay, so once you are done with your data cleaning, so this data is I picked a clean version. If you think it was mentioned, yeah, so this is like a very clean version of the original data set. So we don't really have to do any cleaning. And what you just do is to close and apply. So when you close and load, it now does the loading, which it asks you in the beginning, load or transform. So now it's not loading to Power BI. Okay, so far, any questions? Okay. So once you load the data, what you see is your data appears here. And everything you see here are the different columns that your data had originally in Power Query. Okay. So this Power BI, it has similar buttons like Excel. You just click on the button and it does an action for you. You have your report view, you have your table view here, You also have your table views where allows you to see the data sets. So it's, I can see my data set from here visually. Then you have your data modeling view where you do your data modeling. So since we're working with very simple data, we're not really going to dive right to meta modeling because this is a really complicated part of Power BI. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is once we have our data, we're doing your data cleaning. The next thing you always want to do is to um going back here is to get the date table. We need to get the date table. So by date table, I mean we need to create a form of calendar for our data. And this is really important, especially when you're dealing with multiple data tables, which is what you're going to be dealing with in a real life setting. You're probably dealing with 50 tables, 10 tables, 5 tables, 4 tables, depending on what kind of report you are building. And since all of these reports probably have their own individual time, you need to create a form of calendar that speaks to everything. So when I say what happened in January, I click on that particular table, January, and it gives me January for all this data. If you pick your table, your date, for example, from your actual data, if you do it in this our data in our set, there's no problem since we're only working with one data set. But if you're working with like 5 data sets and you pick dates from those one particular table and you pick January, it might not really give you might not really give you a good picture, a very clear and comprehensive picture of what happened in all the other tables. Especially if your modeling is not it's not properly done. So it's always best that you create a date table and you can connect all your key tables to that particular date table and you work with that date table whenever you have to do something with time related or date related. So we're just quickly going to create a very simple date table. So to create a date table, you come here and you do a new table. So you do a new table. So what new table basically does is you're creating you're creating a new table, just like it says, you're creating a new table, but you're creating it using DAX. And DAX is basically the language of Power BI. So the same way you have SQL, which is the language for your databases, you also have DAX, which is language for Power BI. So I click on new table and Power BI now expects me to write a DAX formula for it. Okay. So just like so how you write formulas in Power BI is really different from how you write formulas in Excel. In Excel, everybody's familiar with Excel here, right? Has anybody here used Excel? Just raise your hand. Okay. Only one person, the same person. So yeah, but it's Excel. Okay, 2 people, 3 people, 4. Okay, so there are 4 people that use Excel. Okay, 5, 6. Okay, that was good. That's it. So I have to explain so much about it too. So in Excel, you have these numbers that you want to, for example, add them up. You just do equals to, and you select this cell plus, right, this other cell, and you press enter. So this is what you did. You did equals to, and you selected C5 plus D5 and gave you a number. In Power BI, Power BI does not have cells. If you have noticed, there's no cells. So instead, what Power BI does is your formulas are written kind of in a very different way. So for example, let's us say I want to create a new table. I click on new table. And to create a new table, it asks me table equals to. This table equals to is expecting me to give me the name of the table. For example, this table is called delivery time. So I need to name the table before I can write my formula. So I can call this table, for example, like dates. Let me call it a date table. Right. And I want to create a date table. So to create a date table in Power BI, I use the calendar function. You can also use the calendar auto, and Power BI will automatically try to create the table for you. But you can also just use the calendar function as well. Yeah, so you can also use the calendar function as well. So the calendar function, just like in Excel, Power BI gives you like tips of how to write your formulas. So it tells you to pick a start date and tells you to pick an end date. So your start date is the date your data started from. So you can also just pick a year, or you can also just pick, since we're actually just one table, we can just pick the minimum dates here. So press min, which means like minimum. And we ask it for the minimum date of, I say, delivery. Or I look for where's delivery. I think you have the date table. It's you. Sorry. Let me check something. Oh, okay. We actually don't have a date table in this data. Okay, we actually don't have a data in this filter. So I guess we'll skip this for maybe when we actually do the actual class or working in a different data set. Okay, so we skip this part. Sorry. Okay, so since we don't really have a data, we don't really need to work with anything date. Get everything here that happens that's upload in one day. Okay, so this is our data. So let us go straight to building the report. So the very first thing we need to look at is all the tables in our data sets. Since we're creating an operational efficiency dashboard, we need to identify the KPIs that we want to that that would want to create different KPIs that we want to like want to sample. So for example, let's assume you run a food delivery business now. What KPIs do you think you would like to see? What KPIs would you like to see? Does any KPI? What KPI?
Hello.
Anybody? Okay. Hello. Yes.
I think other dates, right? The
Oh,
day
no, so our data doesn't have dates, so
other
we're not going to do anything date related.
so okay. So we'll do something related to delivery then.
Yeah, so we're just on a delivery. So let's assume everything, all this delivery happens just in one day. Everything happens in one day. So this delivery that we did in this we did we just did today. This all delivery we did today. I'm trying to like just view it in our dashboard.
Really, the type of orders.
Okay, so type of orders, there's type of meals. So we look at first KPI will be type of orders. Okay. What other KPI? Let me just use simple one. So we want to find out the number of orders where records we
Yeah,
have today. Okay. What
the,
else?
I'd say the most recent location where we getting the most of our orders from.
Okay, so we'll look at our top locations. Okay, so and since we have a delivery partner as well, so we can also find out like maybe is there like a very preferred delivery partner that maybe our clients prefer buying from.
Yeah.
So
How
what else?
how much time does it take to complete from order to delivery?
Okay, so average, we look at the average time that it
Yeah,
takes.
average time.
Okay, so that's what we did, and then we'll come back and look for other KPIs. Okay, so the first one is the type of orders, the type of orders that we have. So for finding the type of orders, we could now have to decide what kind of visual do we want to have our reports. Since this is like a 1 hour class, I can't really go into the background. But most time to create a background, you use something like PowerPoint. You can use PowerPoint to actually really design your like to design the background of your dashboards to actually make it look more visually appealing. And you can also go to websites like it's mostly used by UI guys, but also like this for you to actually look for like how your dashboard should look like, and you can also create similar on your Power BI, sorry on PowerPoint, import to Power BI, and then you put your visuals above it as well. So that's usually it, but we can't really do that in this class. So we'll just go into like actually like the KPIs, trying to build something. So the very first KPI, we say we type of orders, we want the different types of orders. And when you're doing your dashboard, you need to figure out what you want to use as your slicers and what you want to be as what should be a slicer, what should be a card. So you need to know like your slicers. By slicers, I mean like slicers are basically filters. There are also in Excel visuals, you also have something called slicers. So they're basically like slicers. It's simply like if you go to your banking app, you have you have these buttons that you can click on and you can probably pick like in date periods. Or you have this button that you click on and you can gives you like it gives you list of options. That's a slicer. Stuff like that. Or even for example, if you're like your food delivery application, you click what kind of restaurant you have. So that's actually a slicer. You pick in a restaurant and then it gives you the food under that restaurant. So it's like a filter. Actually, you're actually filtering what you want based on that button. That's what a slicer is. Then you have your cards. Your cards are just like a card. Like for example, your banking app, the part that just shows you the number of how much you have in your bank account. That's a card. It's just displaying the figure. That's all it does. And your cards are usually like key stuff that if I just open my dashboard, this is actually what's important to me. For example, like my average time. The average time, this can be a card. Okay. So number of orders again can also be a card. The type of orders I could actually make this as a slicer. I could also make this as a bar chart that maybe shows the number of orders that we have as well. Okay. So we want to find out. So let's first of all have a dashboard that calculates the number of orders, and we use this for that type of orders. I'll show you what I mean. So number of orders. So for you to find a number of orders, you need to create something we call a measure in Power BI. You could also just drag and drop this, but it's always best that you have a measure because you guys are measure for a lot of other stuffs as well. So number of orders. So number of orders, we're going to calculate our ID. We count our ID because we're expecting the ID should be unique. You can go back to Power Query to actually see if it's actually true. So I go to view and I go to column quality and you see there's no empty, there's no error. I go to column distribution and here it's unique. So by unique, it means that all these orders here, there's no two numbers in this column that repeat
The
themselves.
same.
Exactly, they're all different. They're all very, very different numbers. These are different. For a delivery person, we are saying 6642 distinct, 402 unique. Can anybody just guess what's different between unique and distinct? Distinct, unique. We got the same thing here as well. Distinct, unique. Like, what's the difference? Can anybody just guess what they feel is different? Like English-wise, they're very similar. English-wise, they're actually the same thing. You actually argue that the same thing. But in Power BI, they actually mean slightly two different things.
Distinct, say maybe like how many times they appear, and
Yes,
then unique will be a value that appears once.
exactly. That's actually it. So, for example, if you have orange, apple. Let's say, for example, this is our market list. We have apple. We have pineapple. If I say I want to know the counts, I want to know the unique, and I want to know the distant. My count is going to be 4 because we have 4 different items here. My distant is going to be how many items that we have. So we have orange, we have apple, and we have pineapple.
Pineapple.
Yeah. So we have 3 distinct items here.
Mhm.
But if you ask how many unique items we have here, we only have 2. And that is, can anybody guess?
Orange and pineapple.
Yeah, exactly. Always only orange and pineapple. Those are the ones that only appeared once. So there are sometimes that this is normal. This is very normal. Like your market, this is normal. For our delivery persons, this is normal. I mean, like a delivery rider can go on multiple delivery in a day. That's very normal. For your ID, if you do a bank transaction there and you send money now, you send money next time, I don't expect to get the exact same ID. it's supposed to generate you a totally different ID. So this will actually help me like fraud and even those faults to actually find out exactly how many transactions we actually did. So we don't expect to see if these numbers were not on 1,000, that would be a problem. That would be a red flag to find out exactly what's happening. So delivery age, for example, everybody here will be the same age or at least within the same range. The so there's some data, part of the data said that that's okay. So part of the data that is not very okay. And like for example, like now, yeah, we have 4 distinct, 0 unique. That means we probably sell 4 different kind of items. And of course, people will buy that multiple times. If, for example, we had 4 distinct and 1 unique, that means there's one item that somebody bought just once and nobody decides to buy it again. We'll still have to ask ourselves question on why. Why is that happening? So yeah. So once you have seen that, you can again close and apply it. We didn't do any change, so nothing should happen. So once we count how many orders we have, so we can just count our ID. Once we count our ID, that gives us the number of orders we have. And we can do that by just going to the home and click on new measure. Okay, so we can call this ID count. So sorry. So you said measure equals to. By measure equals to, if you want us to give it now the measure first, so we'll say ID colon ID count equals to, then we can use a count formula. And if you're off, everybody's from Excel background, we use a count A because you remember your count does not count numbers. So it does not count text, it actually counts numbers. So it's always better you just count A. So you can use a count A and we pick in. So if it was Excel, you do count A, maybe A1 to A5. When in Power BI, there's no cells. So instead, what you do is you call in the table you're trying to count, which are delivery table. And then you call in the column in that table you want to count, which are ID. So you actually want delivery ID and press tab. So you count this column that's in this table and press enter. And there we can get the cards here and then the filter, and then we can add this to it. So we have 499 for 6K on orders that took place here. If we look here, it's it for 6K. So now it's showing 45 something. And yeah, it's because you approximated it. So we can always go to format of visual. So whenever you get a visual in Power BI and you give it the data, you have this format of visual part of your visualization thing, which allows you to format your data. So for example, don't change the color, don't change the style, don't want to change how it appears. Like in our case, I don't want it to summarize it, which is also is I want it to like give me like just give me the plain information. And if I wanted to actually have this comma, I can select my measure here and click on this. So we have 45K. We can also move this ID if we don't want it, or we could rename it ourselves. Like you come here and call it some number of measures, number of IDs. Number of especially order. Actually, number of orders, that's too long. Also another count. Okay. So and that's another best practice again that I'll show you is once you have a large data set, you always don't want to just be creating measures and having everything in your data. It's always great that you have a different table that kind of like houses this your measure. So to do that, you use a new table. So I just come to insert modeling, modeling, and click on new table. Okay, so once I create a new table, I can press equals to 0. Or new table equals to, you can just call something equals to okay. So this is our new table. We're going to give it a different name. We could actually come to underscore measure. And the reason I kept the underscore I can actually just call it major, however, but I'll show why I keep it underscore now. So whenever you list, you give your data a name. Power BI is kind of arranging alphabetically for you, so that you can make it easier for you to like actually find the information. But now imagine you have like 5 or 10 different data sets here. Your measures will be somewhere here, and it will be very hard for you to find. So when you put the underscore, it kind of like it should just make it the very first time. It's just like a trick that you can play on Power BI. And now you can move this into this measures table by coming here to your own table and you move it to the measures table. So now you have this table that holds all your measures. It actually just makes your work a lot more easier. Where especially we have very large data sets, a very, very large report. So we have done number of orders. So I'm just going to put goods. Oh, okay. Now I want to do the type of orders, but this are not represented usually by charts. So I come to either it's a bar chart, a pie chart. I can always change my visualization. It really doesn't matter. Or go to a column chart. So let me go with the bar chart. So this is my bar chart. And whenever you have your information, it always gives you like your x-axis, your y-axis, your legends, your small multiples. So Power BI just asks you what you want. So I want to maybe I mentioned I want to do types of order. So I can select type of order. So this is my type of order, and I want it to like gives me the type based on this. Mm, They all look really, really similar. So let me go to add the data label just to be sure. Yes, you see, they're actually not all similar. They're actually different. But that would be wrong. And I can always make it again where it should have the data. So maybe the outside end, the inside end is not data. Okay. And this is my data. I can tell it maybe the size, the color should be black. So let's say our company's logo, our company's design is actually in form of orange. So I can go to my bar and go to my color and actually pick in the color. And another thing is I also do not really like legends because I feel that for example, like now we have snacks, you could expand it by using the focus mode here. For example, I mean like you don't really tell me these are types of snacks. I can already tell. So you don't really have to tell me this information. So I could also turn off this. And I can do the same thing for my x-axis. Also turn off the title. We will turn off the label because we already have this data label. So we really don't need that as well. And then for your title of your bar chart, you could go to general, go to title and give it here. These are call it, give it a name. What are our top orders? Okay, so these are our top orders. You can also always change it from a bar chart to a column chart if you feel this is much better. Okay. So now we have these two different metrics, our type of order and the number of cards. So the next thing we want is to have our top locations. Okay, so for our top locations, we will now decide how do we want to like view our data. We want it by so what column actually has locations. Yeah, so we have the restaurant locations. I also have the delivery location. For the restaurant locations, These are different locations, and they're all longitude and latitude. Okay, so there were numbers. Even though you see this summation sign, which means like addition. So we could actually tell Power BI that we're not summarizing our data here, and tell Power BI that this is actually latitude. We could also come here and do the same thing again. So you see, it changes to like a location-based data. This is actually like again, this is actually longitude. Okay, so we could now use a graph to actually show this information. And once you click on this, Power BI asks you for your location. So if, for example, you actually add location, let's say we actually add like the name of these places, it simply does put that here and we get to visualize for us. But since we don't have that, but we have latitude and longitude, we can actually just do the same thing again. So our latitude will come to latitude and our longitude will go to longitude. Okay, so I've actually not how do I put it, allowed this before. Let me check if I just use the map to do the same thing. Okay, same thing. I've actually not allowed this before. So I have to like do the setup. So I'm going to save this. I will not lose what we have done so far. Save it in browser device. Let's save it every time. So if it's the first time you're using this location, you need to go to your operations and settings, go to options. Okay. Then you go to global. When you go to global, you go to regional settings, or you go to security. And you you have to like approve this. Then what else? That's all. And click on OK. So once you do that, it's not going to work immediately. You have to close the reports and you have to reopen the reports again. Okay. So once you open it, give it time, then to appear eventually. To the internet. Okay, so give it time and it appears. So we're going to let's just use this one. I'm going to switch again. So just give it time, because the internet is bad today. So give it time. It's going to eventually show the places. Okay. So we can name this while we wait, and then we'll come back to look at the various settings that it displays. So we can put this, the title is also it's actually our restaurant location. Okay, so you could do the same thing again for your, what do you call it, for the, how for this, for the locations, delivery locations, also have a similar map. We could put them on top of each other to actually see maybe like they say correlation. So let's go to the next matrix. We have top locations as well. Then we have our preferred delivery versus loading versus taking time. Then we have the preferred delivery partner. So the preferred delivery partner, we have to go back to the for our delivery partner. Hold on. So our delivery partner, we have this delivery person's name. So this delivery person, this is the age of the riders. Um, okay, so delivery partner, age of delivery. Okay, so this is actually age of the delivery partner and not delivery person. This location is not very correct. So let's do the same thing for delivery location. So this should be last two. This last two. Then we come here as well, and once we have this, we could actually say want to run this. We actually want to use an its map instead. Yeah, so bad. Okay, yeah. So it shows us still loading chart. But it shows us this map shows us the darker the area, the more like construction of like your locations in that particular area. Then we have our preferred delivery partner. So I've done that. So our preferred delivery partner, we can also represent that even using a bar chart. But since that we really do not have the name of those places, so we actually cannot do that. We also have the name, we probably have to like connect to a different data set that has us that can actually what we can actually like connect whenever it sees this um latitude longitude, it can actually give us like return the name of this data and we can use that to have like a bar chart to show us different location. So we have to get like external data either from an API or something for us to actually get that information. Then we have our average time in the cards. So our average time we can create a new cards. So you can always duplicate your visuals. Want to find the average time. So this time I just go to this measure, say we'll click on it so that measure actually falls in here and I have to repeat the entire process of moving it. I click on the measure. and I go to average. The average time equals to average of, so it's asking for the column, just the column name. If I go to, this is the time taken in minutes. And we can have this. So it's actually 25 minutes. Then the next thing we could also do, we could also look at the average time in the version of, is it, for example, like the average time, does it like, is it part, does it, for example, like it was a particular variable, we'll get more, like we'll get shorter deliveries based on a particular, what they call it, a particular like delivery type. So for example, we could actually remove this and type of order, for example, and we actually get in type of variables, and we can actually look at the average time. So we can actually see that we actually electrical scooter actually move faster than a scooter compared to a bike, and we go to a motorcycle as well. We could look at it by the average time it ends of a particular, if our delivery partners, like maybe which ones are actually like the top delivery partners. So we can actually look at this in two ways now. So for example, we could have our, instead of having a type of vehicles for average time, we actually look at it as our delivery person's ID. Yeah. And so this gives us our like all our delivery, and these are their average time. Each of them, their times are actually not so bad. Everybody does under 30 minutes. That's great to see, right? Then you could also even go step further, for example, and even a having a form of conditional format in your data. So for example, what I mean is who could, if for example anybody, let's say for example we have an SLA with our client, so we are promising them that every delivery that we do, if it's more than, if it takes more than 20 minutes, we're going to give you an extra bottle of Coke, just so that they order more for us and they know they don't ever have to wait for this. So one form of like FOMO, we could actually do this rule based. We could also do this based on a field value, which we don't have now. We could also do this based on rule base. So the rule base, we are measuring this based on our average time. If the value in this our average time is less than one a number, so if the number is actually, if the average time is actually is greater than zero, greater or equal to zero, and it's actually less than 20, we will actually want it to be, yeah, should be green. I mean, that's good. Wherever if it's actually greater than this 20 minutes and it is less than or equals to, actually put 60, then that means like that behavior raise because that would cost us. We have to like give the person equals of two. This is done here. We can't see it because of, you can't see it because I did it on the data, like data levels. Let's do something similar instead, but this time using the bars. So I go to bars instead. Come here, do the same thing, rule, and we're using average time. Okay, which remembers new rule. If it is, remember we make sure 20. So if it's 20, number, if it is 20, greater than 20, but less than 60, want it to be actually be red. However, otherwise it should not be a green color. Yeah, number here has to be like kind of like the number here and press OK. So we can actually now sort this out by sorting it instead in a setting descending order. So only these guys actually met up with our SLA. Every other person are actually they're actually doing terrible based on our SLA. If this is too long, we can always limit it to only shows us like maybe top 10 partners. And we could do something like you come to your filter here and you come to the average time here. And so you want to see the top 10, you're not this. Yeah, come here to your delivery partners. You want to see the top 10. So I say I want to see the top 10. And so top 10. And I'm seeing the top 10 based on the average time. And I click on OK. It's not top, it's only bottom 10. Kind of way smaller. So yeah, based on the bottom 10. And this is actually our top 10 where actually according to us, it's our top 10 because the lower the time, the better it is for us, not. So our top 10 like delivery partners. And if tomorrow the number changes, the number just keeps getting better and much more better. So the same thing again, we can also look at even, for example, um, the age of our delivery partners. So I think guess the age here is more. It doesn't really mean like their age, except we're considering this as like this is the rider and this is the average age of our riders. We also have a table that actually shows us the average age of our riders as well, like maybe a card. So to do this, I just create a new, go to insert, go to modeling, go to a new measure. So average age, I click on average, and I want the age. So I go to delivery person's age. So since it's age doesn't really have like a point. So we could decide to just run this up or run it down. But we click here and tell it to, for example, like we don't want any decimal places. So at the end of that matrix, anybody thinks we need in that matrix. So I've done the average time, preferred delivery partner, stop locations. What's the matrix? Victor, Joe, Taiwo. Any other matrix? Okay, I didn't care.
All right, thank you, Ifeanyi. So I just want to say probably we can just continue since no one is talking. And this is just a testers class. So definitely they can have more when the real class starts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So okay, thank you. Okay, so far we've had a bunch of random metrics and we kept them all in one part. To make our dashboard much better, we could go further by actually having a card that is more focused on, for example, our riders want to find out if it does the rider's efficiency. For example, like where did they operate, where are the top locations and stuff like that. So we could have like every rider profile. Let's say we duplicate this. And I'm just going to delete a couple of these. So in the rider profile, what instead we're going to do is we're going to set up a slider. And in the slicer, you get to pick any rider you want to see. So we have the rider IDs here. This was actually named so that would be much more easier for us to understand. We don't need this in this case. So also we have the different riders, so we can get like a sense of the profile. And here we can see how many orders of this rider done, what's the rider's age, what location did they actually deliver the most. Locations data set is not really showing so properly. This restaurant. We just use this. We could actually get, for example, so we have this as so this particular rider, this is how many orders he has done. This is his age. Um, these are stop orders. So this is what he has ordered. What he has delivered. Sorry. Then this is his average time. He actually does this. We can also make this more dynamic. Remember, we had like an XLA, the 20 minutes SLA. So we actually make this that if, for example, the average time is also make a food base. If the rider is doing, this we're trying to say, if the rider is actually doing below, this rider is doing below 20, that's good, right? So that's 20, that's a green flag. If it's doing below 20, we have, that's blue. We also have a third rule. This like if it's going below a particular number, then red has bad. So let's say he's doing under 20 minutes and you're doing above 30 minutes. Then here it's over 20 and here you're doing 30. So I said okay. Okay, so I mean it's not doing according to ISLA, but well it's trying. Then we also have these are his top orders as well for this particular rider. This is what delivers the most using these orders. And this is actually the average time. This is the average time the rider takes for each of these different types of vehicles that it uses. Let me turn off this later. We could look at this and actually have one that actually shows its ratings. So you have the 4.5 ratings. And something about the rating is that you could actually make it how do I put it? Actually very, very interesting. For example, you could actually add like emojis to the ratings card, so that whenever it gets to a particular, whenever you get a particular kind of rating, you actually get a 5 star, 6 stars, and that's actually what it shows. You can also do that in Power BI as well. But after that, this thing, we have the location, we have the age, we have the ID, the person's ratings, many persons to type of orders, the person's vehicle, and type of order the person to. So I think it's actually all the informations we have on our riders. Then um yeah, so before I close, let's look at that. So you can use like rating signs for rating signs measure. Um so next thing we do is we can add a switch, for example. And what the switch does is very similar to your A formula. So the expression is if this is true, what should happen? So if, for example, the average ratings that the person gets is less than, see the average ratings is actually less than, for example, let's say it's less than or less than equals to one actually, less than equals to one. If it's less than equals to one, we actually want it to have, let's say, it's just have an icon, form like an emoji. So an emoji is actually dots. Dot is from here to get stars. So let's copy this. Okay, so it's this one. Okay, so we want this to happen. And we could also keep adding it as well. Okay, so we have five. This is assuming that we're using those 5 stars. So now close brackets, press enter. Okay, so we put partial this group. Hmm. Okay, so it's giving us this because we have 12 point something, and if I approximate this is this. You look for someone that is lower than that. Let's come to the data itself. Okay, let's go someone that has one. CHE. CHE. So our slider setting is actually this is for select one. Session Hello2. So that's it. Hello2. Let's look up Hello2 again. 16D on Hello2. And find this person. What there is that you can actually actually have a more like a dashboard that's more focused on your riders, and you could actually get in each riders and actually create a personal nice focus dashboard for each of the riders as well. So since there's another matrix that we can derive, I think we're done with the operational efficient dashboard. I don't know. Are there any questions? Okay, Victor.
Okay.
So I just wanted to ask. So let's assume I want to use this in a PowerPoint presentation. How can I convert this into a PowerPoint slide? Without necessarily having
Oh,
to
I'm sure.
show this dashboard of where I have generated my visuals.
Oh, okay. So Power BI actually has okay. So there are two options. You could decide to uh take a screenshot and you could just take a screenshot and you paste on your Power BI. You could also
Mm.
decide to if you let me see if this will work. You can also decide that so we talk about showing this. Yeah, we talk about what do you call it? Power BI online or Power BI service. So Power BI service, so if you publish this in Power BI service, Power BI service has a download PowerPoint option, which you can also download it. So then the last thing is you could actually yeah, those are the stuff and it keeps going on my Power BI slide. Okay, so Power BI also has a another bit here. Looking for everything's so give me a minute. So there's actually an add-in in Power BI in PowerPoint, sorry, where you could also does impute the. Okay, so let me share my other screen. So tell me where you can see this one. So can you see this one?
Okay, it's loading now.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yeah, so Power BI also has this other link. This so when you get to Power BI, I think I'm using another version on this computer.
Yeah,
Where
I was
you
gonna
say
ask.
you
Power
see this
BI.
here.
Yeah, yeah.
So once you click on it, you could, if you have uploaded the dashboard on your service, you could put in the URL here and have like the dashboard on PowerPoint. So in that
Okay.
dashboard we had what to pick in. So the first dashboard that was just like a quick shot that just took in various metrics. You could take a
Yeah,
screenshot to say that's all right. But if you have if the dashboard, for example, let's say you have like 5 different departments and you're like shaking the professional efficiency. Instead of you taking 5 different screenshots, you could put the dashboard here and then you put in, and then from here you can always click on maybe this department and actually present using just one screen instead of having
okay.
5 different slides.
Cool.
So that's like the second option.
But the PowerPoint version, I guess, is different. Would this be a business subscription as against the 2019 version we're using before?
Oh, so this one is actually it's actually I've just not updated that one. You actually just go to where you go to insert, there's not here, there's Microsoft, there's a store.
Yeah.
Try to look for it. A place where you can
I
add
just
this
I just
place.
wanted to know if this
You require a subscription.
Microsoft subscription is a paid subscription or a personal subscription.
Oh, it's a pay. This one is a they're both on paid subscription. So remember I mentioned that you could get a you could go to let me I'm not sharing my screen. Yeah, I'm sharing my
Yes.
screen now. Yeah. So I mentioned that you could. So if like it's a company. If it's a company, that very first one works
Yeah.
since they have like a Microsoft 365 license. If it's for you yourself and you just want to practice, you could actually get a Microsoft developer account.
Your screen is on spotlighted, so it's really small.
Okay, let me stop sharing and share. 50. Okay. Okay. So I'm presenting now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could for you yourself, or like even me, like this account, I'm using a developer account. The other account was that's like work license. So I have a developer
Mm,
account, and developer like using access to everything.
cool.
The only problem is that I cannot like collaborate like in a actual work setting with other users. So it's like a
Mm,
personal account. Like I have a Microsoft 365 account that like I used to learn.
yeah,
So I can create that as well, like I publish it, like I put some PowerPoint to present, but I cannot really share with somebody else in my organization.
yeah.
Like both of us will work on that together. That's not possible on my this Microsoft 365 accounts. So that's like the only disadvantage. But I mean, like you have access to every other stuff. You could play around with Power BI, Power Platforms. You could just play around with any of them and actually does easy. So yeah, it's actually free.
All right.
So all you have to do is just come here and sign up for it.
Thanks for the clarification.
But to do that, so you need to have like a license. And then with your Power BI, you could also log in through your account. So you have an account. So it gives you like a Microsoft account and you can then use that to do everything. I think go with the internet, something I was showing. So like there's actually a place where you can add add-ons, add-ins, and then you can download the new this thing. So I probably need to go to the store to update everything. Oh yeah, that's how to present it in PowerPoint.
Thank you.
Still loading. Yeah, and then any other questions?
So thank you very much, Ifeanyi, for the wonderful presentation, and thank you to everyone that have joined us this evening. It's been a very insightful and a very learning section for me, and I believe it's the same thing for everyone on the call. So really, we have actually even exceeded the time that we're meant to spend for this section. So, well, thank you very much. We really appreciate that you joined us for this section. So this section is just a taster section of our upcoming data analytics class that is coming up in April. So the class will be starting on the 6th of April. And you are going to be learning. Sorry, I want to share my screen so I can tell you about the course. Just a minute. Yeah, thank you. So, so it's going to be starting on the 6th of April. And in the course, you are going to be learning Power BI, Advanced Power BI, Microsoft Excel, and SQL. Also, we are going to be teaching freelancing mastery. So that means after you have learned all these tools for data analysis, we are still going to be taking the soft skill on how to get a freelancing role. So then also our certificate is a CPD certified certificate, and the course is going for 200,000 naira. But if you pay before 16th of March, you can have a discount of 25,000 naira, and the cost will be going for 175,000 naira, or the dollar or the pounds equivalent. So our enrollment deadline is the 3rd of April. So in case you are interested, I'll be dropping the URL in the chat, in the message room, in the chat room, so you can actually register for the course. It's going to be very, very, very interesting and enlightening section for you. So if you have any question about the course, or any query that you would like us to answer, I will be taking questions on that. Thank you. Any question, please?
No, no, Nika.
All right. Thank you very much. So since we don't have any question, I will just drop the registration link here. Or if you have any inquiry too, you can also send a mail to us at I'll drop our email address here. So I've dropped my email address and also the link to register. So please, in case you have any question or you have any inquiry, you can send a mail and I will definitely respond to it. Thank you once again for joining us this evening. And thank you very much, Ifeanyi, for your time. Thank you for the section. Please, let's just show Ifeanyi. Let's show Ifeanyi some love by show of emojis and the likes for the job well done.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Frank.
everyone.
Appreciate your time. Thank you,
So,
the team. Appreciate it.
yeah, thank you. So please, on this note, I would like to thank everyone again, and please do enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Goodbye.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.